Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the IDRiM podcast. Today's a bit of a weird format. So basically, today we're still working with the Avoidable Deaths Network, and this week's episode is actually a combination of two recordings based on slightly different topics. So the first recording that you're going to hear now is basically about creative art and how the Avoidable Deaths Network and in particular one project has used creative art as a way to express and to educate and communicate. Then in the second half of today's recording, we're gonna cross over to an interview that Harris and I did just last week, where we actually interviewed the leaders of the Indian chapter of the Avoidable Deaths Network, which has just been launched this year. We hope you enjoy today's episode. And this time round, we are looking in particular around creative art and the work at Aston University with Winifred. So, Winifred, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Winifred Ekezie. I am a lecturer in public health with a background in epidemiology.
Welcome, Winifred. So as you know, this is a part of the iDream ADN series. So, what is your role within ADN?
So within the Avoidable Deaths Network, the ADN, I am the UK regional coordinator. And I'm also the Avoidable Deaths Network's evidence synthesis coordinator, where I help pull and support the gathering of the information from different sources to summarize key points, key issues, and key recommendations for the network.
Excellent. So you mentioned that you are the UK's regional coordinator. So basically, how many members does ADN have within the UK? And, what type of members are we looking at? Academics, I can see you shaking your head. Uh, academics, practitioners, just so we can get our audience get a bit of a sense of what in the UK, is happening.
The UK numbers, I am not privy to the exact numbers, but I can say we are in a range of locations. We have practitioners. We do have a lot of academics because it's founded by the University of Leicester, which is an academic institution, but we are open to different people participating. Generally speaking, I would say the UK chapter actually didn't start as a region itself until just last year, so it's pretty much new. Although ADN is being hosted by the UK and Japan, most of the projects so far has been outside the UK. So it's still pretty much a new group, but we do have several members from different parts of the country across different areas of work.
Yeah, thank you. So, if someone from the UK wanted to join, how could they join the UK chapter?
Oh, fantastic. You're welcome, first of all. Everyone can definitely join. On the ADN website, there is a link to join, and from there you indicate where you're located because the chapter you join will be linked to where you actually reside or where you're located or where your work is based. For example, I live in the UK, so I'm the UK chapter. If someone is in Taiwan, you'll be the Taiwanese chapter. That's how it works. So you register your interest with part of the ADN network, and then you are assigned or you can participate with the activities going on in that region.
Excellent. And for anyone watching, we'll put the ADN website below this video so those can join from which region they're attached to. Excellent. So, as we mentioned, this has been, the ADN have been celebrating their global campaign throughout March. So, what have you been doing to celebrate this global campaign?
So I manage a research center at the University of Aston. So I'm a director for the Center for Health and Society. And over there we have a student hub. So annually we run an annual campaign, poster campaign, highlighting the top 10 avoidable deaths in different regions. So in 2024, we did something for the UK, which is specific to the UK. So the top 10 avoidable deaths in the UK, that was promoted. Last year, 2025, we did one for Europe. And this year, we are doing one for Asia. So the idea is every year we highlight the top 10 avoidable deaths according to the data and statistics available. So it's not generally what we say it is, it's what the evidence say it is. And most times, avoidable deaths are actually health related. So it's quite interesting. There are different areas, but the highlighted one in databases are health related. So we've done that for this will be a third year running, and the launch for this will be happening on the 24th of March. In addition to that, this year we're adding another element where we're going to have a blog post to support the ADN, the poster that we are developing. We also do a few creative health initiatives, but that's going to be missed because that will be achieved within the window for the campaign. But it's something I'll say watch this space because there's more coming.
Excellent. And I'm just curious, what was the biggest avoidable death for the UK in 2024?
What can I say? I would say I'll just name a few. First of all, the one that kind of surprised everyone was road injuries. So this is where it's like another thing you should know is context matters, what the top conditions are. But in the UK, road injuries was one of the top 10.
Weirdly, it doesn't surprise me from
Really?
someone from the UK who sees so many car accidents. It actually surprises people. Excellent. So my next question is, why are you celebrating? What is it the value of celebrating, avoidable deaths?
Um, okay. The point here is some things everyone would like death to be far away from them. If we can avoid it, why not? Not just death, but anything that can lead to death. So celebrating is highlighting the things that can be changed. Avoidable can be called modifiable. It can be called preventable. It can be called just anything you can do to stop it from happening. So what we do with this, what we do with our project is to highlight the key conditions that we as individuals or as groups can contribute to minimizing it happening. So from a health perspective, like I said, the evidence shows that most of the conditions are actually health related. Like I said, the car accident may not be health related directly, but it's something that we can do as individuals to avoid. So running this campaign annually is to bring to everyone's attention, create awareness and more knowledge about the things that individuals, communities, and not just the government, but higher level national authorities can know to contribute towards enhancing actions to reduce. So that's one area of it. And the other point is if highlighting this also makes us understand what to prioritize in our personal habits as well as in our actions with each other.
Okay, so I just want to unpick some things you've said there. And uh, first of all, talked about, not just governments, etc., about its individuals and communities. Does ADN in the UK chapter really work with local governments and work with any local authorities, basically, because as you mentioned, car accidents is the biggest in the UK. Does it work with, these local authorities to try and put campaigns together or do anything to reduce these risks?
Um, at the moment, not anyone I was actively point out, but it's something we're working on. For example, the key thing that came across during the top 10 avoidable in the UK was also mental health. So it's something we're trying to work around. Like, okay, mental health is something that you can't pinpoint. You can't say this is the risk factor per se because it's not something that shows. So one of the ideas we're trying to go with is to work with communities to get initiatives that community members can participate in, and that's where the creative health comes into play. So a recent initiative, which is still in the planning, in the works, is how do we get people to use creativity to help manage, maintain, or improve their mental health abilities. And this particular project will involve working with definitely local councils and then at least in our region. So it's something that we are actually working on. But as we know, some things take longer to plan than intended. So
Absolutely, but I have to applaud you for working on the mental health bit. It's in terms of I know this statistic that for men under the age of 45 in the UK, it's the biggest killer, sadly. And I've known people who've really suffered through mental health. And it gets talked about more now in the UK, which is arguably one of the biggest positives because that was what was that old masculinity. You can't talk about your mental health because of it's not a man thing to do. So I
Mhm.
think that obviously we've got a long way to go, and your campaign and your work obviously is going to go a long way, to addressing that. And lastly, you know, all these events with ADN, you say you work with your students. How do the students respond to all these events and to working with ADN? Because I can see this being like bringing the real world and and especially the global world to the classroom, and I can see a lot of benefits, but how do the students respond to it?
I would say, first of all, they're amazed, fascinated, and elated, but also tired sometimes because, like, one more thing to like, oh, but it's rewarding. Generally, I would say students find it rewarding. And I still get testimonials 2 years later on the benefits of working this campaign. So it brings not just the learning of the real life, like you said, it brings the theory to life because most times students learn written words, essays, just gonna watch a video, but how is a video made? They could do that, but in a situation, the way this is done, it's not done as a coursework. No, it's not done as an assignment to grade. It's like it's a task for you to do, just develop this. You work as a group, you do the research, you get the evidence, you develop it, you actually design the poster, and then you promote it. So from the inception to the end, students learn on the journey. So and they learn the process of research, they learn the process of collaboration, which is something the painful part. Working in a group can be quite challenging. They learn actually about the avoidable death conditions because most of the students actually are public health master students, meaning that that is the work and the field that they'll be going into. So this is one of the springboard, a very good starting point to learn how things work in the background. And at the end of it, they are so inspired that actually pick up one of those topics sometimes to take further as a research area in a dissertation or just to focus on for their career going forward.
Winifred, thank you very much for your time today.
We have two guests from India that will tell us more about their activities as Indian chapter and many more in the ADN. So to start that, I would like to our guests to introduce themselves. So please, Dr. Pratap or Dr. Ramya, you can start whoever you want.
Thank you, Harris. So
Yes.
I'm Dr. Ramya Pinamnemi. I am the director of the School of Public Health at KIT Deemed to be University. We are located in Odisha in eastern India, and we have recently become the country hosts for the chapter of Avoidable Death Network. And as a part of the network, we are looking forward to do a lot of things, but right now our roles are as regional coordinators, along with many other coordinators from across India, work together, plan a few things for the next 3 years so that we can come together as a chapter and work on India related problems. But we're also the leads. Dr. Pratap and me are the leads for this chapter for the next few years.
Hi, Harish and Perry. So myself, Dr. Pratap, I am a associate professor of public health at KIT Kim to be University, also regional coordinator for this ATN network.
First of all, congratulations on the creation of the ADN Indian chapter. I've heard so much good things already from ADN. So, coming to the global campaign, what have you been doing to celebrate ADN's global campaign this year?
So I think this is our first year as regional coordinators with ADN. So this is the first time we are celebrating the global campaign. Part of what we did is we are an academic institution, specifically our higher educational institution, where we teach public health and hospital administration students. So we have had students join the ADN network as volunteers, and they have started uh, understanding what avoidable deaths are. They've been one of the activities that they did was go through newspapers, go through recent news clips, and understand which of these could be called avoidable deaths. Understand what's happening across the state and across the country and around the world about uh, deaths, mortality in general, and which of these could be referred to as avoidable deaths, and then pick up some topics that they can work on. So this is something where we are building the next generation of leadership, future leadership, and also because we are part of a university through the global awareness campaigns, we are hoping that we can involve other disciplines to work with the public health schools on this topic. But Dr. Pratap, you can speak about the launch we did. That was one of the major events we did for the Global Awareness Month.
Yeah, so we did multiple activities. One already Madam has said, and one of the important event we did is relaunching the India chapter at School of Public Health, Kittim to V University. Now here, what we did, we invited the leaders, members of the ADN network, and various stakeholders, including non-government organizations, students, the future leaders who can uphold the ADN activities. And we celebrated this India chapter launch, and we conducted panel discussions on high-level panel discussions on this avoidable deaths in Odisha, India, and other parts of the world. Also, we connected to students, their views on the Avoidable Death Network, and how they can contribute actively in this endeavor. And also, we met many NGOs who are working at grassroots level, who are actively participating actually with the Avoidable Death Network activities. And also we heard them how they are trying to generate awareness, helping people to basically cheat premature deaths. So we are doing a lot of activities, and this event was an important activity. And our news event has been in the local media and other social media platforms. So we carried forward the message of the ADN through our launch event, and also through social media and newspaper and print, as well as the audiovisual media like TV. So we try to spread out the messages of ADN to the community here and other parts of the world.
Thank you very much for that. That was wonderful news and wonderful work you did to your community there in India. Now, since as you mentioned that you both of you come from universities and the events that you have done involving students and NGOs, made me wonder how's the community or the peoples in the grassroots react to this? How's this respond? Whether they welcome well, or what kind of things that make they want to participate? Is there any participation for them to understand more about this avoidable death? What do you get when you have this event?
Okay, so before moving to this exact response, I think two other events need to be highlighted what we have already done, and then we can come back to this query. So also we had a sub launch of this India chapter at IIT Roorkee in a international conference, Resummit 2047, in its Greater Noida campus. Now here, the Joint Secretary of Disaster Management of Government of Bihar was present along with Professor Anil Gupta, and also virtually Dr. Nivedita and also Dr. Hituki were present, and we introduced the ADN network in a larger international platform also on 17th of this March. That is also we try to spread the message of ADN network, and also we did a quiz competition in the month of February to engage young leaders in activity in knowing the ADN activities, also to understand what is avoidable death. So we invited people from various universities other than KIT University who participated in our quiz, and here we found many non-health science students like engineering, also non-medical like nursing and other paramedical science who have participated. They are very enthusiastically participated in the event, and we had a huge success. And in the final round, we hosted 8 teams for the quiz, and we were surprised with the enthusiastic participation of our students in Bhubaneswar city, and we enjoyed the event very well. Now, the madam can talk about the query we are pending with.
Thank you for pointing out those events. Yeah. So regarding what you said about working with community partners and grassroots organizations, I think this launch event was a very good opportunity for us to meet with all the people who are already working with ADN, and also meet with other nonprofits and the UN organizations that we invited. So we had people from UNDP, from UNICEF, and all from retired government officials from the Directorate of Public Health. So these are people who have worked on these problems. These are people who have worked at different levels, starting from policy level all the way to grassroots level. So having them in the room gave us the opportunity to discuss the problem from different perspectives. So we had students in the room, we had faculty members in the room. So it's easier to talk to them throughout the year. But during the event, what we were able to do was have these grassroots organizations and some of the other faculty share stories, personal experiences about avoidable deaths in their social networks, or also talk about the problems they are facing on ground when they try to reach out to people or reach out to policymakers to build a solution that can be scalable. So having these different perspectives, having a roundtable conversation helped us understand what priorities are for different groups of people. And we are really grateful or honored to be the platform where people can come together to talk. So we are not, like I think I mentioned this before, as a chapter host, we are just trying to provide a platform for all these people to come together and share resources. So if we have students who are capable of undertaking research or advocacy activities, we want to tie them up with organizations who are on the ground and who have a scarcity of people who can conduct research, for example. So we just want to get these people together, and I think that event really helped us form that network, form that group, and initiate the conversation. So in the future, we will have smaller group conversations where we can form working groups between these grassroots partners. And at no point did we feel that the grassroots partners felt that the university is taking up ownership. they did understand that this is a collaborative effort, and they're all people passionate to bring about change, and they are looking for collaboration in every way that's possible. And we're happy to offer that.
Excellent. And you know, it sounds all great, and I in particular like this bit about the young leaders, because I feel that sometimes it's not, I feel like it's getting better, but for a long time there was a lot of like a vacuum where there was no real training for young people who were coming in. Even in the UK and across Europe, there was very much a vacuum about 10, 15 years ago of trying to bring the next generation through. So you mentioned you had in February, like you brought, is it 20 young leaders together from different institutions. How were those picked? Because I know from coming from one of my institution where we have loads of great young budding researchers and practitioners, it's sometimes difficult to pick. So how were these picked, and what was their general feeling coming away from this event?
So it's a competition, right? When you advertise a competition, people do sign up. And I think it does, because of the topic, it does invite people who are already interested or thinking about these topics. So we had students, not just from, like Dr. Pratap mentioned, from universities across the city who came together to participate. And some of them I think, are joining the volunteer network for ADN. So the primary motivation here is a quiz where you want to win, but also a quiz where you are getting together with other like-minded people and trying to learn what else is happening in the field. Do you want to add anything, Dr. Pratap?
Yeah, that is, it was a quite interesting event because students are important flag bearer of our network. So we have to connect them, motivate them. So quiz was just a medium and to get engaged with them. We are also trying to bring some essay competition also on the way. So that also, and since there is a prize, like it is like a gamification of our agenda. So we are trying to make our of events, participate, win, again participate. So participate, win, and participate. This cycle we want to continue with through this quiz and essay competitions.
We come to the end of the podcast, and thank you very much for highlighting the events that you have been done, as well as for the launching for the ADN. Now, what is the goal that you want like to achieve by having this chapter now in India within these years, and whether this having such event and having a global campaign in coincidence of the launching of the event help to achieve that goal?
So I think our primary goal is building future leaders, because eventually, yes, all of us are talking about it, but this is a long standing problem and it will continue for many years. So yes, building future leaders, enabling partnership amongst the leaders and the current experts and across sectors. And through these partnerships, enable this academic research translation into both practice and policy. So when we talk about multi-sectoral collaboration, we are looking at working with the Odisha government and the rest of other disaster management institutes across the country to translate it into both practice and into policy, whatever evidence we are collecting through our network. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is it is going to be very eventful while hosting this ADN chapter, India chapter at the School of Public Health. As Madam already pointed out, we are collaborating with government. Odisha government has done exemplary work to reduce the disaster deaths from cyclone and other disasters. So Odisha has been a model state, and with no casualty in many instances we found. So we want to collaborate with the government, also already collaborating, and want to continue this collaboration not only to be part of zero casualty events, but also we want to be part of the success story where post disaster issues have been taken care, like mental health and other issues is being taken care. So we not only this disaster events is going to be part of our uh, reaching out to people, but also we want to be part of this part of these activities through state government to reach the people who need care and other services in the disaster scenarios.
Thank you very much for coming to our podcast, Dr. Ramya and Dr. Pratap. Hopefully, the ADN India chapter will keep flourishing and making many events to make people and community understand about avoidable deaths in terms of disaster. Thank you very much.